Hey, this is Joe Baginski. I'm here with another time-lapse portrait drawing. This time I have Mississippi John Hurt. If you're unfamiliar with Mississippi John Hurt, he was a blues musician in the 20s and the 60s. So he had a 30-year absence beginning around the start of the Great Depression. It's actually an interesting story. He just wasn't making enough money after the Great Depression, so he quit recording, and he went back to Mississippi, where he was from. And then later on in the '60s, during the folk and blues revivals, two men, and I forget their name. I had to pause to look it up, but it was Dick Spotswood and his friend Tom Hoskins. So like Dick Spotswood, he is a like a music cataloger, like in the vein of Alan Lomax. And so they had recordings of him from the 20s, and they wanted to find him for various the festivals or making new recordings, but they didn't know how to do it. And the only clue they had was he had a song called Avalon Blues, and in it he goes, Avalon, my hometown, always on my mind. I can't really sing it too well. So they're like, all right, well, I guess he's from Avalon, and his name's Mississippi John Hurt. This is the finished picture, by the way. The rest is just me talking. Dick Spotswood tells his friend, like, who's going there on business into Mississippi, he said, go out of your way, see if you can find any info about him in Avalon. So, like, the friend, Tom, gets there, and he goes to, like, some, like a diner or a gas station or a corner store, and he's like, have you ever heard of this old blues musician, Mississippi John Hurt? And like the guy that worked there was like, yeah, he lives over there. So like they found him instantly. So like Tom Hoskins asks him to like play some songs, like to make sure he still has it, and he does. So he invites him like back up north to to play some shows and to record some music. And he does, and he has a lot of music he recorded for the Library of Congress. So some of these songs might be in the public domain, which this image is that I just drew, and you can find it at the link in the description. But that's pretty much Mississippi John Hurt's story, at least as much as I know. And I guess I picked him for this. I guess because like I'm making these portraits, and I know R. Crumb had a series of famous blues musician portraits that he did. So I guess this is sort of like a nod to that. But also I just really like Mississippi John Hurt. If you haven't heard him, go check him out. He's got a lot of great songs. The first song of his I ever heard was Make Me a Pallet on the Floor. That's as good of a place to start as any. But just go check him out. So anyways, let me know what you think of the drawing. Let me know what you think of Mississippi John Hurt if you're familiar with him. Or let me know about whatever. But thanks for watching. Have a good one. Bye.